What the fuck? If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know that I am a huge fan of My Chemical Romance. They're my favorite band of all time. I've been listening to them since I was 15 years old. I've had this poster on my wall since 8th grade. Yeah, I was 15 in the 8th grade. F*** you. I own all of their albums on CD and vinyl. I have books about the band, and just like so many shirts. Like just too many. I feel like Gatsby in that one scene. Shut! I have this thing, which I know isn't like a real autograph, it's just like a replica, but it's still pretty cool, and it was a Christmas gift. I've got this little guy. He's a keychain. It's safe to say that I own pretty much every piece of My Chemical Romance media that you can own. But what about the merchandise and media that no one can own? What about the media that's lost? Hello and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Trevor and I am eternally uncool. I make videos about music, music culture, and anything that interests me. But mostly music right now. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, then I highly recommend subscribing to the channel and watching the rest of this video. I love lost media, specifically lost music. There's just something about an album or a song that we'll never hear, or just hear like a snippet of, that's just so intriguing. And you'd be surprised at how many bands have lost music or lost music media. It's practically all of them. Whether it's an unreleased album, a song lost to time, a live recording that some rando in Michigan only possesses. Lost music is my shit. I've talked about some of my favorite bands, lost music, in the past, like Panic at the Disco's Cricket and Clover. But one band that has surprisingly interesting pieces of lost media is My Chemical Romance. Yeah! What I want to do today is take a look at a few pieces of lost My Chemical Romance media and try to figure out if there's a possibility of them ever being found. There's albums, songs, and even puppets. So stick around for that. With all that being said, grab a drink, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into the video. My Chemical Romance's most famous piece of lost media is probably their unfinished 5th album, The Paper Kingdom. It's gained an almost mythic status over the years. Originally conceived as a concept album that focused on a support group for parents who lost children, they imagine these lost kids in a magical land, the Paper Kingdom, where they fight a witch with mystical powers. It was said to be hella dark and emotional. So much so that the band just noped out of it and broke up. They said, "See ya, playa." In 2012, MCR went into full force in the writing process for this album, going as far as to build a studio in Los Angeles. They brought in engineer Doug McKean, who had worked with them on The Black Parade and Danger Days. They talked up the album in interviews, saying that they didn't want it to just be a collection of songs. Because they're My Chemical Romance, they need a theme. They need flair. There's only a few interviews of them talking about this potential 5th album. There's a photo taken in the studio on the band's Facebook from 2012. It shows a whiteboard with like the outline of a song. In summer of 2012, Gerard Way was interviewed by the greatest filmmaker of all time, Kevin Smith. And Kevin asked him when this album was going to be released. To which G responded, "We don't know, but it's going rather quickly." And everything seemed good. But then, March 23rd, 2013, My Chemical Romance breaks up and The Paper Kingdom is left unfinished. Gerard Way did an interview after the breakup where he said that he just found no joy in writing songs about parents who lost their kids in horrific ways. He said it was a story that he just didn't want to tell and that it drove him to old habits. Which, if you know anything about Gerard's history, that is not a good thing. fans started speculating on whether or not we were going to see a release of The Paper Kingdom, when in 2020 the band released the video, The Summoning, which featured a never-before-heard snippet of a song. But then, that original video was taken down and then re-uploaded, but without the song snippet.
Coincidence? I think not!
This video would of course signal the return of My Chemical Romance, at least as far as touring went. 2022 saw the leaks of several supposed Paper Kingdom songs. The person who uploaded these was selling them for some fucking reason, and originally asked for $10,000, but then changed it to best offer. Some fans thought these leaks were an elaborate setup by MCR themselves, but the band quickly shut those rumors down and the leaks were copyright striked. There was another leak in 2023, this time for a song called Paper Swords. Then in 2024, the song Witch was leaked in full. It's kind of low quality and I'm hesitant to believe that it's actually legit, seeing as around this time AI was kind of on the rise.
So who knows?
The only thing we really have to go off of is a supposed track list of 14 songs, but no one can be sure if any of it is real or not. As of 2025, there hasn't been anything new as far as Paper Kingdom goes, but a lot of fans seem to think that the more recent cryptic trailers that they've been releasing have something to do with MCR 5. But I highly doubt it. I don't think we'll ever hear Paper Kingdom. I think that whole album was just thrown into the fiery pits of Mordor, thrown into a trash can fire. Status, probably lost. In 2012, the legendary leader of legendary hip-hop collective Wu-Tang Clan, RZA, released his directorial debut, The Man with the Iron Fists. The film follows a group of warriors in 19th century China who have to band together to defeat something. I'm sorry I haven't seen the movie, it's not really my thing. But the one thing I do know about the movie is that My Chemical Romance contributed a song for the soundtrack. A song called Hell Hath No Fury.
But
That song has never been released, and no one can find a full version of it. The only thing we have to go off of is a 50-second snippet from the movie, fight sounds and all. There's no vocals, but you do hear those classic Ray Toro and Frank Iero guitars. It's really bombastic and punky. It kind of sounds like something off of Three Cheers. It's undeniably My Chemical Romance. And there's like no info about the song. It has a Genius page, but there's literally nothing on it. And nobody in the band even knows if they still even have the song.
Get your shit together, guys.
My theory is that it was a mainly instrumental track written specifically for the movie. It gives me the same vibe as something like Romance from Bullets. Just like a kind of instrumental throwaway. But there's still a part of me that thinks this song could be released at some point in the future. It's a small part, but it's still there. Maybe the guys in the band will get bored of teasing us with MCR 5 for 2 more years, and just decide to drop Hell Hath No Fury out of nowhere. But I doubt it. Status, pretty lost. In 2002, My Chemical Romance was in its infancy. They had a website that listed some of their songs, most of them being demos of songs that would appear on their debut album, I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. But there was one song on the website that did not make it onto the debut album, and didn't have its lyrics archived. The song is called 9-Volt Heart. Many fans speculate that it just wasn't good enough to make the album. Others think it's a cover of the Smashing Pumpkins song, Bodies, which doesn't seem too far off when you remember that the guys in My Chemical Romance are all pretty big Smashing Pumpkins fans. There's rumors that the song was played live at early shows. YouTube channel Michael Dennis 264 claimed to have a recording of one of those shows. But he was quickly exposed when Matt Palessier, of all people, showed up in the comments and quite literally said,
False.
And props to the uploader for owning up to it, even going as far as to post a video on how he faked the snippet that he had. The song probably existed, and it was probably played live, but apparently reception to the song was not great, so I don't think it was ever properly recorded, and if it was, the band definitely doesn't still have it. It's been over 20 years at this point. Status, hella lost. In June of 2004, when My Chemical Romance was getting ready to record their second album, they recorded a handful of demos that would mostly appear on the album proper, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. But there was one song out of that handful of demos that did not make it onto the album. That song was called Sister to Sleep. The song has been performed live several times, including as recently as 2022. But a studio version of the song has never been released. And from what I could find, there's no demo version out there. It exists. The band confirmed that much in a 2011 live stream. But no one knows where the recording is. Good job, guys. Good job. Status, lost but not lost, maybe? So far, all of the pieces of MCR Lost Media that I've talked about in this video are pretty well-known pieces of Lost Media. I knew about them, you probably knew about them. My grandmother probably knows about them. But there's one piece of My Chemical Romance Lost Media that I had no idea existed. This last piece took me by complete surprise and made me want to make this video.
Well, we're waiting.
I was scrolling through Instagram, as you do, and I came across something posted by one of the many MCR fan pages that I follow. It was a picture of Ray Toro and Gonzo from the Muppets. Where did this come from? I wondered out loud. Was Ray Toro once a Muppet? Was Gonzo one of My Chemical Romance's many drummers?
What is this?
It turns out that this was a picture from a charity event called Puppets for Puppetry, which was put on by the Jim Henson Company to raise money for the Center of Puppetry Arts. Ray Toro and Gerard Way, along with several other musicians who play with My Chemical Romance and in Gerard Way's solo band, paid tribute to the Jim Henson fantasy film Labyrinth. They covered the song Underground, which was originally performed by David Bowie's character, Jareth, in the film. There used to be footage of this performance on YouTube, but it was taken down after a copyright strike from the Jim Henson Company. And there are photos from the event posted from 2 separate Instagram accounts, but they were private, so I assume they're just random fans who were at the event. I did manage to find a few pictures of the event on Google, including one where you can see Gonzo's puppeteer underneath, which is just so jarring to see. And I did find a YouTube short of like 5 seconds of the performance, but nothing else. Unlike some of the other pieces of Lost Media I talked about today, I feel like this one has a large possibility of being found one day. There has to be someone out there who was at the event and filmed the performance and just has it sitting around in their cloud somewhere. And hopefully they can post it without the Jim Henson Company taking it down. But at least we got to see Ray Toro and Gonzo together. The collaboration we didn't know we needed. Status, lost but could be found. Do you think any of these pieces of Lost Media will be found? Or do you think that they're lost forever? Let me know in the comments. That's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then I highly recommend smashing that like button and sharing this video with everyone you know. I am a small, independent content creator who does everything on his own. So every like, every comment, every share, any interaction with this video at all helps me out a lot. So with all that being said, thank you for watching. As always, I'm Trevor. Stay uncool. And that's the end of the video. Goodbye.